Hi and welcome to the Candida candidate. Today's topic is about high blood pressure, migraines, reflux or acid reflux or GERD, and some other solutions. So I will start here. Can Candida cause high blood pressure? At the Candida diet, topic 1. Let's see what it says. And here, the blood pressure solution. You can see it up here, blood pressure solution. Many might be surprised to know that the large majority of the population suffer from symptoms caused by Candida fungal infection. What's more surprising is that you could be one of them and not even know it. Candida fungal infection has such a wide range of symptoms, this silent invader escapes being identified as the culprit of many common and often serious health issues, including the possibility of cancer. So where does it start? Candida is a yeast microorganism that resides in our intestinal tract along with other microorganisms, such as the helpful bacteria we know as probiotics. Under normal circumstances, our yeast to bacteria ratio is generally around 10:1. But when the things get off balance, yeast can start to grow and multiply, causing a Candida overgrowth, yeast infection. Once this cycle of rapid growth begins, the invasion of this fungus starts to spread to other parts of the body, causing a multitude of symptoms, which can often be overlooked or misdiagnosed. So here are some leading causes of Candida yeast infection. Antibiotics, diet, eating sugar, craving sugar, etc. Prescription medication, alcohol in excess, and 7 common symptoms of Candida fungal infection. In the beginning stages of infection, Candida usually takes advantage of an imbalance in the gut, mouth, and urinary tract. The most common symptoms include thrush, sore throat, earache, bloating, gas, constipation, and diarrhea. Well, there are other symptoms, and we will come back to that. Other symptoms, while unusual but commonly reported by many sufferers of Candida infection, is discoloration of the skin and uneven skin tone. Wow! I have seen a lot of that. Especially in South America. But once the infection has reached the bloodstream, it gains access to other vital systems in the body, including the brain, reproductive system, among others. It doesn't take long for Candida to quickly become widespread, which causes the symptoms become more varied. And here is a list of additional symptoms: cravings for sweets, migraine, headaches, anxiety, depression, fatigue, vaginitis, cloudy judgment, itching, acne, hyperactivity, sinus inflammation, irritability, dizziness, decreased sex drive, skin infections such as athlete's foot, chronic pain, muscle weakness. So, if you want to read more, you can find bloodpressuresolution.com. So, the next one. Can Candida cause high blood pressure? This is curezone.org. My doctor told me it releases histamine. I did research and figured out that this histamine can cause a low blood pressure because it dilates blood vessels, but at the same time causing them to become more permeable, making them leak fluid into tissue, water retention, putting pressure on blood vessel, causing a rise in blood pressure. This is a reply. Weight loss, come up with acid reflux, yeah, arthritis, skin condition. Candida creates a lot of toxicity that interferes with the normal function and detoxification of the body. Yeah, I want to speak about acid reflux. Let's go on. Candida and acid reflux is the fungus destroying your digestion. Each year, millions of Americans suffer from both acid reflux and poor digestion. In fact, as we age, the body becomes more susceptible to developing an acid reflux condition. As we age. Well, I don't totally agree with the age stuff, but let's read on. Many health experts claim that this is a normal part of aging process and that an anti-acid should be used in order to combat the condition. However, this is not true. Antacids will only make the problem worse in the long run. Despite popular belief, an acid reflux condition is not caused. It's not because of too much stomach acid, but too little. The more stomach acid that you produce, the better your digestion becomes. In fact, the stomach should have a pH of 2 or lower. Raising this pH with antacids in hopes to improve and facilitate digestion can have disastrous health effects in the body. Also, many are unknowingly suffering from bacterial and fungal overgrowth, such as Candida. This fungus modifies the gut microbiome in a negative way and can hinder digestive capabilities dramatically. Those suffering from a Candida overgrowth almost always have low stomach acid levels. As a result, those suffering from acid reflux need to focus on rebuilding and rebalancing the gut, inhibiting the growth of Candida and raising stomach acid levels. When this is done, poor digestion and acid reflux will be a thing of the past. Yeah. Stomach acid and acid reflux. You can read a lot about it. I have had a girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend. She had so much reflux for years. She had migraines and many other symptoms. How Candida lowers stomach acid. As mentioned before, those suffering from a Candida overgrowth are typically low in stomach acid. This is because most bacteria and fungus prefer an alkaline environment. It should be understood that stomach acid not only helps in your digestion, but it helps neutralize bacteria, yeast, and fungus that may be present in the gut. It's for this reason that attempting to become more alkaline is one of the first things you can do. Don't eat antacids. It's not a good solution. So what came first, etc.? Well, that's a philosophical question maybe, but let's jump on to the worst foods for acid reflux. When it comes to acid reflux, there are several different foods in which you will want to avoid. As mentioned before, acid reflux typically is a direct result of food matter being fermented and putrefied in the gut by bacterial and fungal pathogens. As a result, you will want to avoid foods that can feed Candida and contribute to this fermentation process. Below is a list of foods that should be avoided if you suffer from acid reflux and are dealing with a Candida overgrowth in the body. All forms of sugar. And here it says raw honey, okay. Not so sure. You can test it out yourself. Next one is starchy carbohydrates. You know, from rice and potatoes and pasta and stuff. Processed foods, alcohol, sugary fruit. Interesting. In my experience, sugary fruits like mangoes and grapes and maybe apples are not the best for you. These foods are the biggest culprits when it comes to acid reflux in the body. In fact, all of these foods can effectively feed Candida and can make digestive conditions much worse. In particular, we highly recommend that you avoid sugar and alcohol at all costs. Well, about the alcohol, I am not sure. It depends on what kind of alcohol, I think. For example, some liquor, like rum, white rum or white gin, maybe it's not so bad, but test it out for yourself. It's important to understand that Candida operates on a sugar metabolism. This means it takes sugar, ferments them, and produces small amounts of alcohol as an end product. During this process, it also releases over 70 different toxic byproducts, which can cause all sorts of dysfunctions in the body. Yeah. 70 different toxic byproducts, which can cause all sorts of dysfunction in the body. Yeah, think about that for a minute or two, or for a week. Strategies for increasing stomach acid, as well as following our Candida diet protocol. This is the crushcandida.com. You can have bitter herbs, animal protein, sea salt, bone broth, cook anti-candida meals, etc., etc. So, how sea salt can be beneficial for combating candida overgrowth. I have been drinking seawater. You know, sea water, ocean water. There is a lot of salt, but it's not only salt, it's all kinds of mineral. And the ocean purifies itself. And when you find 1 liter of seawater, you have to dilute it. So you have 1 part seawater and 3 parts of normal water from the tap. That means 25% seawater and the rest 75% with normal fresh water. You can add a few drops of lemon juice for the taste. You can also add a few drops of apple cider vinegar. It is beneficial. And you can drink half a liter up to a liter, or maybe a little bit more. And you will get a huge supply of minerals, beneficial minerals, and your body will kind of regulate what it takes in and absorbs. So salt has been under attack over the last several decades. Many experts claim that salt will raise blood pressure and lead to long-term health problems if consumed in excess. In truth, these experts are correct. However, this is not true for all salt. Processed table salt is an extremely toxic substance and should not be used by anyone looking to improve overall health in the body. Yeah, table salt is toxic. Sea salt is very good, very healthy. You actually need it. Your body needs salt to balance sugar in the body also. Most table salt has been stripped out of its minerals, bleached and heated to unnaturally high temperatures. Nowhere in nature do you find table salt occurring naturally. With that said, raw unprocessed sea salt is a whole different story. Sea salts, such as Celtic, are full of minerals and can offer a wide array of benefits towards the body. To be exact, it's estimated that unprocessed salt contains over 84 minerals. Yeah, you don't need to go to the health supply store to buy supplements. You can eat healthy and drink a little bit seawater. These minerals are in an ionic form and easily assimilated and used by the body. Also, unlike table salt, which can raise blood pressure, unprocessed sea salt has been shown to help normalize it. So sea salt or seawater can normalize blood pressure. However, what benefits does sea salt have towards those dealing with candida overgrowth? Also, how does sea salt help to combat candida growth? Luckily, we've answered all these questions plus more, by the end you will have a better understanding as to why sea salt is so beneficial for not only those with Candida overgrowth, but also for those seeking optimal health. Well. Go to crushcandida.com and you can find more if you are interested to know more about sea salt or seawater. I know that there are some clinics in South America that use sea water as medication, as a treatment, and they have cured many people. And well, that's for another video, but there was a French person around 100 years ago that cured many people during the First World War, I think. He had this big hospital treating soldiers, wounded soldiers. Our blood is salty, consider a sea salt flush, etc. The bottom line, should you consume sea salt? So, go to Crush Candida and read more. I will move on to another beneficial product. Chaga mushroom for Candida overgrowth. King of medicinal mushroom. I am still on crushcandida.com. You can read what is Candida, the protocol, Candida recipe, ebook, health and wellness. Chaga mushroom has been used for centuries by various ancient cultures around the world, most notably the ancient Siberians of Russia incorporated chaga mushroom extensively into their diet. It was well known that these people frequently brewed teas and made soups with this powerful medicinal mushroom. Well, about this chaga, or King Agaricus. Some people are more interested in earning a lot of money, so they grow this King Agaricus in a growth house, indoor. But it is not the best product. The best you will find out in the nature. So there is a Japanese company growing King Agaricus out in the wild in Brazil, in its natural habitat. And when it grows out in the nature, it absorbs all nutrients, all minerals from the ground. And it is much better for your health. And it will actually be very good for your body, for your metabolism. It can cause wounds to grow better, faster, quicker. It can make your hair grow back or grow better. It can make gray hair be black again, actually. So let's read on. These ancient Siberians credited chaga for helping them to adapt to the harsh climate of Russia. They believed that this mushroom helped them live a long and healthy life well into their old age. In fact, many of these ancient Siberians lived well into their late 90s, despite living in a cold and harsh climate. Chaga is often referred to as the king of medicinal mushroom. So chaga is one thing, that is one mushroom. King agaricus is another one, that is King agaricus. So I was a little bit confused. I mixed maybe a little bit there. But chaga is beneficial. It is called king of medicinal mushrooms here. But the other one is called King agaricus. That is also called the king of medicinal mushrooms. So, well, chaga is often referred to as the king of medicinal mushroom and has earned this name outright. No other medicinal mushroom in the world can quite compare to chaga mushroom. Well, that's where I am not 100% sure. I think the King agaricus is the king of mushrooms. However, what about those with Candida overgrowth? Can they benefit from consuming chaga mushroom? Unlike most mushrooms that develop into fruiting bodies, chaga mushroom does not. In fact, chaga is like no other mushroom you've ever seen before. At first glance, you would never guess that this mushroom is, well, a mushroom. This is because chaga grows primarily on birch trees. Its appearance is that of a big black mass, and it is often referred to as sclerosia. This sclerosia is hardened mass of mycelium, which houses high amounts of vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals and polysaccharides. Chaga is fairly easy to identify since its dark black burnt appearance is hard to miss. There is ongoing debate as to why chaga grows primarily on birch trees and its role. Some believe that chaga has a symbiotic relationship with birch trees and helps to protect the tree from premature death. We tend to agree with this theory since chaga mushroom typically grows on birch trees that have been injured. That all being said, this mushroom takes years to develop in a forest. The presence of chaga in a forest indicates an old ecosystem and a forest that has yet to be disrupted by outside sources. There's a small fly around my face, sorry for that. Highest amount of antioxidants in the world. Despite its lack of popularity, chaga is one of the highest food sources of antioxidants in the world. No other food on the planet even comes close to touching the antioxidant content present in chaga mushroom. Well, maybe it's close to the truth. Not even cacao, which is considered by most to be the second highest food source of antioxidants, can compare the levels of antioxidants present in chaga. Well, there is a lot more you can read on. Great source of beta-glucans. The importance of obtaining enough beta-glucans in the diet is an understatement for anyone dealing with chronic health conditions such as Candida overgrowth. Beta-glucans are a class of polysaccharides which offer immense benefits to the body's immune system. Well, I will come back to that. There is benefits, but actually I will Google right now about Candida and beta-glucans. Yeah. So let's go here and beta-glucans, Candida albicans. Let's see what comes up. Beta-glucan of Candida albicans cells wall causes the subversion of. There is a lot of articles, research articles. Beta-glucanases from Candida albicans purification. Let's open this one. Beta-glucan of Candida albicans cell wall causes the subversion of human monocyte differentiation into dendritic cells. Oh, that is a little bit complicated maybe to understand. The functional consequences of treating human monocytes with purified and chemically characterized Candida albicans beta-glucan, a major microbial pathogen associated molecular pattern on their differentiation into dendritic cells were investigated. We show here that beta-glucan treated monocytes differentiated into mature DC, dendritic cells, GLUMO-DC, with altered phenotype and functional behavior similarly to DC derived from Candida albicans germ tubes infected monocytes. Oh, they fail to express CD1. This is not for the average person to read. Maybe I can find something that is more easy to understand. Abstract figures, articles. Beta-glucans represent 40% of the cell wall. Okay. Beta-glucans represent 40% of the cell wall of the yeast Candida albicans. The dectin-1 lectin-like receptor has shown to recognize fungal beta 1.3 glucans and induce innate immune responses. The importance of beta-glucan dectin-1 pathway for the recognition of Candida albicans by human primary blood cells has not been firmly established. In this study, we demonstrate that cytokine production by both human peripheral blood mononuclear cells and murine macrophages is dependent on the recognition of beta-glucans by dectin. Heat killing of Candida albicans resulted in exposure of beta-glucans on the surface of the cell wall and subsequent recognition by dectin-1, whereas live yeast stimulated monocytes mainly via recognition of cell surface mannans. Dectin-1 induced cytokine production through the following two pathways. Oh, a little bit. This stuff is for medical researchers, so it's not that easy to grasp, but what is beta-glucanase? Okay. The health benefits of beta-glucanase. So glucanase means an enzyme. Okay. Beta-glucanase represents a group of carbohydrate enzymes. So carbohydrate enzymes. That means I think it should be an enzyme that breaks down carbohydrates. So beta-glucanase is an enzyme that breaks down carbohydrates. Yeah. Which break down glycosidic bonds with blue beta-glucan. These glucans also create up to 60% of the cell wall of many forms of fungal organisms, such as Candida albicans and Candidal biofilm. The common experience of Candida in the gut. This biofilm is a kind of slime, if you will. Beta-glucans are a polysaccharide made of glucose molecules linked together into long chains that humans cannot readily digest. Okay. In more familiar terms, they are cellulose plant fiber. So cereal, bran fiber, and parts of certain types of fungi, yeast and bacteria, as a kind of indigestible fiber. They may become viscous in the intestinal tract and slow peristalsis, the intestinal contractions. It may result in constipation. So maybe some vegans out there, maybe some of you need to change your diet. Don't eat too much cereals. Well, maybe not only vegans. In my opinion, all diet should be low in cereal or grain. We humans should not consume too much grains, or very little. That is my personal view. Beta-glucans are health promoting in that they act as intestinal fiber, which may help reduce high serum cholesterol levels and help create regularity through bulk formation. Water-soluble fibers may also help to regulate blood sugar and reduce the likelihood of developing colon-related diseases. So when it comes to fiber, you find fiber in the vegetables that your body can absorb and break down. And you find fiber in fruits. Well, here it says actually the health benefits of beta-glucanase. People suffering from an overgrowth of the Candida fungus, a condition also known as candidiasis, may benefit from taking beta-glucanase. Although it is a fungus or yeast infection, it is notoriously difficult to eliminate because of its inherent ability to resist antimicrobial agents. Sadly, many people treat digestive concerns and infections with prolonged and high-dose antibiotics. This can actually increase Candida's ability to become even more antibiotic resistant. Beta-glucanase is an enzyme that has been found to be particularly useful in reducing the coating or biofilm of Candida. So, in the health supplement shop online, you can find beta-glucans, but you should find beta-glucanase. That's the enzyme that breaks down the fungus. Yeah. Because Candida albicans produce beta-glucan, and you need beta-glucanase enzyme to break it down. So, beta-glucanase is an enzyme that has been found to be particularly useful in reducing the coating or biofilm of Candida that can grow in the digestive tract, in your gut. When an overabundance of beta-glucan is secreted by gut bacteria or candidal cells, there is a buildup of biofilm within the organism, or slime in your gut. And this slime will cause bloating. It will cause the gas to not be released. It will form a big bubble maybe, and maybe you will feel pain on the side. And maybe then you have to drink some hot water, so it will relieve some of the pain. But actually you need to think about Candida overgrowth. Maybe that is the big problem. When an overabundance of beta-glucan is secreted by gut bacteria and candidal cells, there is a build-up of biofilm within the organism. Science is currently looking into the link between these biofilms, the overgrowth of fungal organisms, as well as increased fungal resistance to drug therapy. The buildup of excess beta-glucans has also been linked to increased antibiotic resistance. Well, I think that this biofilm, or this slime in your gut, might cause you to not absorb all the nutrients from the food that you eat. And the food that you eat will be, cause it will be a biochemical reaction in the gut with this fungus or biofilm or the slime. And this causes all these toxins, and these toxins will enter the bloodstream, and maybe you will act a little bit crazy, and maybe it will cause, or maybe it will produce small amounts of alcohol, and it will make you feel migraines or headaches or hangover. Yeah. In vitro and in vivo studies on Candida biofilms show that when we have more beta-glucanase in the system, the Candida becomes significantly more susceptible to fungal cleansing agents. So, you have the Candida diet. That is very important. But also consider this beta-glucanase enzyme. And there are other enzymes that also breaks down Candida albicans. I can Google it right now for you, so we can find it, what is the correct name, so I am sure that I tell you the correct information here. Candida albicans enzymes. Let's see. Yep. Candida yeast enzyme review, the best and worst. Medical reviewed by Dr. Atmika Powdell. This was 8th of July 2022. And Dr. Atmika Powdell says, the comparison information presented here about Candida yeast enzymes and their safety is medically correct. I don't want to give you information that is not correct, so that's why I had to Google this one. Nanoproteins make up 55% of the yeast cell wall and biofilm structure. Typically, these nanoproteins will have 20% protein and 80% mannose polysaccharides. Mannose, that should be some kind of sugar, glucose, I'm not sure. Well, let's see. Inside of the cell wall structure is the nucleus, which is composed of proteins and fats. In order to completely break down the protein part of the biofilm and nucleus, the enzyme formula must contain a protein digesting enzyme such as protease. So protease is an enzyme that will break down or digest proteins. So let me read it again. In order to completely break down the protein part of the biofilm or the slime and the nucleus of the cell, the Candida fungus biofilm cell, the enzyme formula must contain a protein digesting enzyme such as protease. So here it says 25% of biofilm is a carbohydrate-rich matrix composed of polysaccharide, carbohydrate glucans and chitins, or chitins. The cell walls also contains these components. These can be removed by the enzymes cellulase, hemicellulase, beta-glucanase, amylase, invertase, glucoamylase, and a few others. So protease, cellulase, hemicellulase, beta-glucanase, amylase, invertase, glucoamylase, and a few others. You need all these enzymes to break down the cells in the biofilm that Candida albicans produces. And on top of that, you have to stay away from sugary fruits, high carb diet. you should actually be on a Candida diet. So yeah, this clarifies a lot. So it's not only the Candida diet, it's also to supplement with these enzymes: cellulase, hemicellulase, beta-glucanase, amylase, invertase, glucoamylase, and a few others. So 15% of the biofilm and cell wall structure is composed of lipids or fats, which can be removed with an enzyme such as lipase. There you go. You need lipase. Lipase is an enzyme that breaks down lipids or fat. Nucleic acids make up 5% of the structure and contain DNA and RNA material. Yeasts also use fibrin and fibrinogen in the biofilm. You know, if you cut your finger on just a small paper cut, your body has an immune response. It will locally, where you cut yourself, send fibrins and fibrinogens and some lipids, and it will form like a net, and it will cause or make like a bandage. It's a natural healing process. That is the fibrins, fibrin and fibrinogen in the biofilm. So yeast produce fibrin and fibrinogen in the biofilm, and as an attachment mechanism to attach to your intestinal wall. So this biofilm, this slime, is kind of slippery, but at the same time it has like a glue function. All these fibrins will attach to this wall of the intestines, so the slime just don't come out when you go to empty your stomach. So the enzyme serrapeptase digests this component, the fibrins or fibrinogen. Serrapeptase digests this component, and in doing so, it detaches the biofilm from the intestinal wall. Wow! You know, during all the years that I have done my research, I have come across serrapeptase. I had to buy it and import it and use it, but I know now that you should use it together with other enzymes like hemicellulase, beta-glucanase, amylase, invertase, glucoamylase, and others. Not only the serrapeptase. So serrapeptase digests this component, and in doing so, it detaches the biofilm from the intestinal wall, which allows your good bacteria to attach to these spaces. These newly formed bacterial colonies will help prevent the yeast from reattaching to your intestinal wall. So Candida albicans is an invasive microorganism that takes over your body, and eventually it enters the bloodstream, and it circulates in your body and you will have nail fungus, you will have skin rashes, you will have migraines, you can get all sorts of symptoms, and you go to the medical doctor and he or she prescribes pain reduction pill or some kind of inflammation reduction pill or treatment or creams or whatever. And you really never get rid of the fungus or Candida albicans. Or you even make it worse. You can have some short-term relief, but well, you know what to do now. Studies also show that when Candida yeast enzymes attack the cell wall of Candida yeast, it begins to scramble and beef up its cell wall structure. It will beef up the cell wall with parts that are not under attack in an attempt to survive, which results in not being able to get rid of the overgrowth. You will probably have some relief, but in order to maintain the health gains you've made, you may need to continue taking enzymes indefinitely. So it is extremely important that you take an enzyme formula that removes all parts of the biofilm and cell structure. So to keep it simple, nanoproteins make up 55% of the biofilm and cell wall. Polysaccharide carbohydrates make up 25%. Lipids of fat are 15%. Nucleic acids are 5%. So there is an review on Candida yeast enzyme products. Some of these Candida yeast enzyme formulas list the specific amounts of the individual enzymes and not milligrams. However, Dr. Samant and I are very familiar with the manufacturing process. We know how to convert these units to milligrams for a good comparison. Basically, active units per enzyme take up so much space in a capsule, and we know what those measurements are. They can vary a little bit depending upon where the enzymes were sourced, but they will be close to our milligram figures. So you have biophase premium enzymes containing 1050 milligrams per 2 capsule dose of these enzymes. Cellulase, hemicellulase, protease, amylase, glucoamylase, invertase, serrapeptase, beta-glucanase and lipase. In the other ingredients section, all that is listed is the cellulose capsule, so there are no fillers displacing enzyme space. All enzymes to remove biofilms and to attack the cell wall are present in this formula. Serrapeptase goes into the bloodstream and cleans the blood of dead tissue, blood clots, plaque, cysts, fibrin, and other unwanted microbes. It also helps reduce inflammation. So, this is another topic, but there are some women that have pain. They have some fibroids in the uterus, and this fibroid grows. They are benign tumors, but the fibroid just grows and they multiply, and maybe this enzyme, biobase enzyme, biophase premium enzymes, maybe they will reduce these fibroids. This is a complete formula that removes all parts of both yeast and bacterial biofilms. It also attacks every part of the yeast cell wall structure. The 90 capsule bottle on Amazon is rated 5-star. The 180 capsule bottle is rated 4.5 stars. On the D&G Industries website, 5-star. The most critical review on Amazon says it is not for Candida, but the person says it works very well for bloating. There you go. We suspect this person actually has SIBO, or SIBO, and not Candida overgrowth in the gut at all. They should have taken herbs with enzymes to clear the bacterial infection. In the other 3-star review, the lady thought she was taking a probiotic, not an enzyme formula. Biophase typically sells for $67.95 per 180 capsules, which is 38 cents per capsule. The 90 capsule bottle sells for $38.95, which is 43 cents per capsule. You have review about interface enzymes. Sorry, I always get a little bit tired of reading. Don't know why. Sorry for that. There are many enzymes here. You can read about it yourself on yeastinfectionadvisory.com. yeastinfectionadvisory.com. Conclusion. Based on the contents and amount of each Candida yeast enzyme formula, Biophase is the only enzyme formula that contains all the enzymes needed to remove all parts of the biofilm and yeast cell wall. It is also the strongest formula on the market at the best price. There are enzyme medical studies with testimonials from real people on this webpage about Biophase, and more testimonials here if you care to read them. So that was all for now. I am not sure how long this video is, so maybe I have to break it up in 2 parts. Anyway, I hope you got a lot of good information today. I hope you pass this information on to someone that need it, and I hope you subscribe. I hope you like it. Push the like button and push the subscribe button if you have not already done so, and I hope this will help you if you have Candida overgrowth. So thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me to help you and others with this information. I hope you can share this video to someone that needs it. So thank you for now. Bye bye. Have a nice day and be healthy. Eat healthy and be happy. Thank you. Bye bye.